And anti-Christian sentiment has been a problem in Turkey for quite a long time. And then in April came a brutal attack against a Christian publishing house. Is such anti-Christian sentiment a growing trend? Father Jonathan Morris spoke exclusively to one of the victims' widows.
On the morning of April 18th, 5 men entered a Christian publishing house in Turkey, at first expressing interest in learning about Christianity. Then they turned on their victims, bound their hands and feet, tortured and brutally stabbed them to death. Turks of all religions were outraged by the killings, and police arrested 10 men who are now under investigation. In an exclusive interview with the Fox News channel, one of the widows spoke candidly about her husband.
I don't want the world to forget what happened. They killed my husband and his friends, and they left my children without a father. The only guilt they had was believing in Jesus Christ. I'm not angry and I don't hate them, but of course I want justice to be done, and I want us to be able to live our faith in Turkey in freedom.
7-year-old Alicia asked for the microphone.
My father was very good. I played many games with him, and he loved me very much. Because I miss him, he is missing me too. He loved me and was like Jesus.
An isolated event, or is Turkey's long history of religious tolerance in danger? The pastor of Emmanuel Evangelical Church in Istanbul, who says he himself has been harassed, says anti-Christian sentiment in Turkey is a big problem.
In schools, in the primary schools, in junior high schools, in all and every day at the media, they speak falsely about the Christian. They think the Christians are the enemy of this country, this land.
But a spokesman for the ruling AKP party, which has strong support among many Islamists, vows Christians are accorded the same protections as all other Turks.
I don't think the small Christian communities are in danger, because the government is very determined to protect the rights and safety of every citizen and every individual that lives here or that visits here. So there is not any concern of that sort. But isolated incidents do happen.
The presence of Christians in Turkey is by all accounts a test for this democracy. Government officials insist that Turkish law protects religious liberty, and on the books it does. But Christians are left wondering, why is living their faith here becoming increasingly more difficult and dangerous?
My mother loved my father very much. My father was a really good man, and that's why I could love him.
And Father Jonathan Morris joins us now. Father, welcome. And is this becoming isolated incidents, you think, in Turkey? I know you mentioned the schools, the kids being taunted, or is this something that could blow up even further? I mean, the Turkish constitution clearly lays out religious freedom for all.
Right. Well, what a sad story with that woman there and her children. You know what? That's the big question, whether or not this is isolated or not. The big problem in Turkey right now is there is an increasingly strong anti-Christian sentiment, both on the part of the Islamic-friendly party right now, it's the AKP that has the majority, and also among the secularists who are so afraid of the Islamists, who say we don't want any religious expression. So what happens? The Christians there are left in a very dangerous place.
Sure, and you said all the schools, most of the schools are Muslim. So you have Christians involved in what is mostly now a Muslim world over there, and our minds go to Iraq, the Taliban in Afghanistan. Right. When does an isolated incident become sectarian violence?
Well, you know what? Turkey does play a big role right now for, I think, global peace. They've been able to have moderation in Turkey while having a 99% Islamic majority. The question is now that they're moving towards entrance into the European Union. They want entrance, but are they willing to stand up for human rights and all human rights, including religious liberty? And you know what? There's not a basis, there's not a foundation, a philosophical foundation to say we want that. We want it like it is in the United States, neither on the side of the Islamists or on the side of the secularists.
Yeah, and we don't want to paint with a broad brush here over Islam, but is your sense over there that there is a bit of extremism that's kind of creeping into Turkey that hadn't been there before?
Well, obviously we saw it. There is extremism in Turkey. The question is whether or not those in leadership, the imams, and also the politicians are willing to stand up and saying, you know what, we can be Muslim and we can be peaceful. That is not totally sure yet, and we have to hope for it, and we have to support it, and we have to stand up for our Muslim brothers and sisters and our Christian brothers and sisters and say there's something that's universal, and that is violence and religion never mix.
Because the Turkish military may not just sit back and wait forever.
They've had 4 coups in the last 40-some years, so the military is a strong force in Turkey.
Father Jonathan Morris, it's great to have you.
Thank
Welcome.
You very much,
nice little vacation here. Not a vacation. You're here out of Rome.
I'm working all the time.
Great to have you here.
As you are. Thank you.